Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 2425 21st Avenue here in Forest Grove. We are located up on the rooftop, going down through a 4-inch cast iron vent. We're going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We do have water running. We'll zero out the foot counter at the base of the vent stack here. A ton of standing water sitting at the base of the stack. It appears we're at the bottom of it currently. It kind of felt like the camera just hit the bottom and turned. Alright, there we finally pop out of it. We do have some newer, it looks like ABS pipe in here. There is an absolute gargantuan amount of buildup in this line. You know, I think I figured out your problem here. This appears to be Orangeburg sewer pipe. There's a big lump in the flow line right there at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. That is not debris. That's the actual pipe material that's deformed that badly. Just gotta make sure that that opening there has closed off significantly. I just want to make sure I can get my camera back out through it. You've lost about 2 inches of diameter there. In Orangeburg, I don't say this to make waves, it is the worst pipe material ever made, hands down. It's made of compressed layers of cardboard with tar in between them. So that entire section there, I mean, we'll see how it looks as we come out, but I'm basically going to recommend a full update from out to 38 feet here, at the very least. We're now into concrete pipe. At that point where I mentioned you may have had ABS in there, I think ABS and Orangeburg can look similar at first, but because they're both black in color. I think you may have Orangeburg under the house. And you've got a root intrusion here at 67 feet. You have another root hair poking up through the joint right here at 81 feet. All right, so my camera does not want to round this final turn here. It appears to be the final turn at the main lateral. I just went out and located. We're way out in the middle of the street right now, and we're lined up almost perfectly with the manhole down the road. That's a very common thing. Sewer lines will often do a kind of a final turn right before they terminate at the main lateral connection. And given that we're in the middle of the road and lined up at the manhole, we're just probably a foot away from the main lateral connection here. I've got a pretty nasty light glare up here on the roof because of the sun. So I'm gonna have to review some of this video back at home. So some of the things I say on here, there may be a change in the report itself. I'm just having a hard time seeing up here with all the sun. But as far as the concrete goes, I mean, as we pull back here, I believe you've got at least one root in it, if not more. And the age that this line is. And you've got an earthworm flopping around right there, so you've got bad pipe joints somewhere in this concrete, which doesn't surprise me, the age that it is. Concrete joints do not hold up well over time. They let roots in, they let groundwater in. If earthworms are coming through, then groundwater certainly is as well. That doesn't mean that's happening non-stop all year. You usually see more of that during the rainy seasons. But either way, the joints are compromised. And considering the age of this sewer line, this is not a line I would recommend spot repairing. Obviously, you can choose to do that, but I recommend full updates at this point in time to the line. You got another earthworm crawling around right there. That joint looks like it's offset there. And I think it may be allowing water to seep through it. It looks like it's offset and separated, if nothing else. But we just had another earthworm come in behind that. So we've got multiple pipe joints in the concrete here that are open to the ground. Yeah, all those pipe joints there, you can see them. If you follow the joint up to the top of the pipe, they have very dark rings around them. That's because of groundwater seeping through. All right, now we are sitting right near the water meter, just prior to the curb. The depth I'm getting here is only about 2 foot 6 inches deep, which is insanely shallow. That makes it easy to dig down to. It makes it a lot harder though when you're grading a line to get proper slope and grade. But it's shallow. There's a root there. We had another one that was coming up through the flow line area. Yeah, we'll go put another marking down here. The markings are spaced out about every 30 feet or so. I'm using white paint. So, I mean, if you're going to update this in parts and pieces, I would recommend a full update, but the concrete pipe is certainly functioning better than than everything prior to this point here. All right, we're now right at the edge of the walkway. The transition here is right underneath a bush. If you're standing in the street looking at the front of the home, The line right now is oriented just in front of the front right corner of the house. There's a little bush with pink flowers that butts right up against the concrete walkway that leads up to the front door. We're right underneath that bush there, right around 2 feet deep. But yeah, this is, I mean, you've lost probably in many spots in here 2 inches plus of diameter, which is normal for Orangeburg. It is a terrible pipe product. This, I mean, you can see how much this stuff has collapsed, only being 1.5 feet, 2 feet deep. You can imagine what it looks like when it's 6 feet deep. It just gets smashed completely flat. But because of that, the joints separate very easily. I can pretty much guarantee you you're losing sewage out of this, at least out of this section of the line. That big lump right there, that is the pipe material we're going past. So anyway, this stuff is done for. So at the very least, I recommend a full update of all of the Orangeburg, essentially everything from the base of the main stack out to at least 38 feet. Again, I would highly recommend taking that repair to at least the street edge, especially considering how shallow the line is. At least get that far. That's what I would highly recommend doing, if not going all the way to the main lateral. And I don't know if the city out here is responsible in the roadway or not. That's worth checking into. It's possible that the homeowner is not responsible in the road. And right around probably 22, 23 feet, the line goes back underneath the home. Right now we're underneath the kitchen area, just probably a few feet inside the foundation wall. I can't locate anything else beyond this point going back. This is one of the first times I've cambered over 20,000 lines. I don't know if I've ever seen Orangeburg underneath a house. It is the last pipe product in the world you want to have underneath your home. It's possible an addition was built over the top of it, and that's why it ended up there. Now, I can't tell where the transition is. It's somewhere around 8 feet. There's too much standing water in the way. Either way, you've got bellied pipe going all the way back to the vent stack in the cast iron. So that's why I recommend a full update from the base of the stack all the way to at least 38 feet. That's the severely problematic pipe. The whole line has issues. But if you can at least get the stuff on property, that's the stuff that's most important as far as just conveying sewage from point A to point B. The pipe in the roadway, realistically, you still have some time with there. I mean, it's much cheaper to update it at the same time than it is in parts and pieces, which is why I usually recommend lines this old just get completely updated at once. But the main stuff is the stuff that's on property prior to the street edge. We're going to go ahead and roll the camera out of the line. Make sure you do a rescope after any repairs are done to check the work. Very important to do that.